Hello guys, welcome to my video. Here I am welcomed by my lovely aunt Maria, and I'm in her house right now. I came to visit her, and I came here to ask her some questions about her home country. So, Maria, hello.
Hello guys, how are you guys?
So first off, let's do an introduction to who you are. So, Tia, where are you from,
I'm from Peru.
and what city?
I'm from the north of Peru, which is Chiclayo. It's a city at north.
Okay. Well, I've been to Peru many times in my life, and I've always seen what it physically has for me and the world, but I never really learned about what goes on in the political world of Peru. So today, I actually wanted to discuss the governmental developments that took place in a modern era state. And so the governmental developments that took place in a modern era state that I want to pick is Peru. I want to pick Peru as the modern era state that I'm going to be discussing about today, and I'm gonna analyze the developments that have happened to its nation. From what I know as of right now, I believe the governmental developments of Peru are the introduction of communism and bringing an end to a corrupt government. And I'm going to have my aunt here explain to me what has happened and what is the truth, really. So, just to begin off, what's it like in Peru?
Well, since my father is a military from the army, I learned a lot about politicians, and I growing and being raised in a army family, and I was close to every single change of the government. So basically, I have seen, right? I have seen a lot of change, good and bad change on my country, with the government. First of all, my country was a communist country, but we finished with that. It was one government that ends with all the communists and terrorists as well. The army collaborate a lot to put the end of the terrorists. Even my father was fighting against the terrorists in Peru. Unfortunately, the government is still corrupt, and it's being against the people, because there is a lot of corruption and the government, and even with the hard works of the people, we can stop it. It's a huge a problem that Peru has right now. However, we finished with the communists, we finished with the terrorists, but we still have a corrupt government.
So, this kind of ties in perfectly with the 2 points that I previously made, the introduction to communism as well as bringing an end to an end of a corrupt government. So, what you're saying is that communism and corruption goes hand in hand to the Peruvian government, because once communism was added, corruption came to be.
Absolutely, yes.
And so the ones that were controlling the government were the communists and terrorists at the time.
Yes.
So before this, of course, a development is something that has happened to a nation. So before the communists came, how was Peru like before?
Peru is a very rich country with a lot of minerals, a lot of prime material, a lot of lands, a beautiful lands, a beautiful cities that we have. We have a very rich gastronomy as well. We have a lot of good things in my country. We have history. We have a lot of nice places, and very a rich culture, and everything that you can say about food, for example. But unfortunately, even though we have a lot of good things, the like we go back to the same place, like the corrupt government, which sometimes stop to being, a better country and keep growing. Even if we have a lot of good things, sometimes the corrupt government stop us to do better, to have more. So that's a huge problem that we still have to handle.
And as you were just saying, you were mentioning rich, how our country is rich. Do you mean by in wealth, in money, or in the culture or the
And
tradition?
culture, tradition, we have a lot of, for example, gastronomy. We have
You can say in Spanish.
mucha mucha producción de minerales, mucha producción de sabe de, oh my god, ¿cómo se dice cuando de comida, de agricultura? Agriculture, right, agriculture. So for example, just one example that I will tell you, Peru has more than 9,000 types of potatoes. Actually, the potato comes from Peru. Anyone that you will ask where the potato is from, they will say Peru. We have a lot of exportation from Peru to the world, the whole world. But unfortunately, again, the corrupt government sometimes, stop us and what we can do, what better we can do.
So at the same time, you're increasing your production in your country, but there's also the constant threat of corruption in the government.
Right,
So
exactly.
even if you're prospering with all the things that Peru has, there's still the downside
Yes.
of the corruption. And so how do you think this corruption came to be? How did it come into existence?
Because the government is the same persons, the same people. Unfortunately, the people choose for the same, group of people that want to be even more rich and don't think about nothing else, just to be, fill the pockets. That's it. And the good thing is, this generation, it's taking place to be a better person, taking place to finish a career, to have a vote, for example. If we don't like something, we say something. We have, a lot of young people that go out of the streets and try to fight for the justice, la justicia, por ejemplo. Muchos jóvenes pelean por eso. En esta nueva generación ha sabido escucharse, ha sabido presentarse y pelear por lo que realmente el pueblo merece. That, fighting for what the people really deserve, which is, a good life, a better laws, a better rights. So that's a good, important thing as well of Peru.
Okay, so living in the 21st century that we are in now, it has been the age of technology, where
Yes.
there's been many developments in technology. Do you think the advancements of technology have had any effect on the corruption?
Yes, of course, because, like I say, this new generation bring a lot of good things and new things. One of them, it's the social media, for example. For us, well, for us, because I am young people too. For young people, that it's easier to show what happened. It's easier to show what we can do better. So since this is part of our new life now, that's helps a lot to just stop their corruption in Peru, because new era brings a lot of good things that help us to fix that problem.
So, when trying to discuss the governmental developments in a modern era state, as we're talking about Peru, I believe the addition of technology has added on to a reason. So, it's the governmental developments of a modern era state, Peru, are the introduction of communism, bringing an end to a corrupt government, and the introduction to technology, where technology has added new formats and ways that corruption and communism can spread.
Yes.
But thankfully, there are other protective ways that stop this from happening. But overall, that I've learned a lot. I now know what's going on in Peru. Thank you for that, Pia.
Well, I totally invite you to come to my country. We have a beautiful country. We have a great people. We have a nice culture there, a lot of good food. Probably your parents will tell you about it. And for example, we have Machu Picchu that we've been there as well, and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful country, a wonderful people. Beside, the problems that each country has. Even this country has a lot of problems. Peru, and I will probably say all Latin America has beautiful people, beautiful country, beautiful places, and you're more than welcome to go to my country.
And even with all the bad things that have happened and are happening in Latin America, it is important to never forget who is there for us, the Hispanics. Thank you, and this concludes my video.
Gracias.